Hey guys, Brick Build Brick Films here with another episode of my guide to stop motion. In the last few videos we talked about the basics of setting up your equipment, filming the stop motion, editing, and finally uploading it to YouTube. Today I'm going to be going over something a little more in the first step that I didn't go over because it's a big topic that wouldn't have fit into just one overall category video, and that is script writing. Now, before I get into too much detail, for those of you who haven't heard about what script writing is, basically a script is a document, or basically a story that you can follow to set up your brick film and stay on a current pace. It's basically just writing the story that you film based on. It helps keep your stuff a lot organized, and today I'm going to teach you guys the basics of setting one up yourselves. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So for my first example that I want to make, here's my old script for Lego Friday the 13th that I still have in my Google Docs app. Now, Google Docs is what I've used to create my scripts ever since the beginning of my brick films, and we're gonna go over this quick example. Now, let's start with reading scene 1. Okay. Counselors are sitting by the fire telling stories, Jim telling one currently. Then, after murdering the counselors, Jason escaped the camp. He still lurks the woods to this day. Jim turns to Jenny. Jenny, ha, what a load. Now, if you haven't noticed already, this script doesn't have a lot of detail in the writing in and of itself. It's more of just an outline of what you need to film, and that's something that you need to understand with just brick film script writing. This is more of a self-taught thing for me. I haven't heard this from anyone else. But when you're writing your scripts, you don't have to make it like a detailed novel, because no one else is going to be reading this script except for you and the people who could be voice acting for you. You only have to make an outline of what you know you need to film in your brick film, and also make it clear who's reading what line. Now for this script, this was one of my earlier brick films, so I didn't use highlighting tools to let people know what lines they had to record. Oh, actually I did, okay. Since Gold Puffin voiced John in this film, I highlighted his lines and color-coded it and let him know, hey, everything that's in yellow is what you are responsible for recording. That's something you want to do if you have multiple other people, like recording voice lines with you. If you're the only person voicing in this film, then you don't really necessarily have to highlight anything. But you want to make sure to make it clear what you're going to record. Don't make it so simplified that you don't fully understand and then you suddenly get lost. Another thing is, even though you're not putting a lot of detail into your script writing, you want to make sure that you are taking your time making it. You don't want to make it a super simple, super boring story. You want to use your creativity, but at the same time, you don't have to make your script jam-packed full of detail, because then it's just going to be tons and tons and tons of reading while you're trying to film your movie, instead of just being able to scan through like, yes, this is what's going to happen next, this is what I need to shoot next. A lot of people actually make sketches and drawing boards of what the frames should look like. I've started doing that not in any Google or digital application. I can just occasionally sketch down some drawings of what the shots should look like. Even if you're not good at drawing, just getting a general idea of what you need to film will also go hand in hand with script writing. So, in other words, just what I said, keep it short and simple. Not really short, you can make your movies longer, but keep the writing down to a minimum without reducing the creativity behind the script. Now that I've given you guys an example, let's start from scratch writing our own. Now that we've gotten a new document open for writing our next script, here's basically what you want to do. You want to first set a title for your script. Since this is just an example for me, I'm going to write down example script. type it down. And then skip a few lines. What's going to be at the top is going to be your title. This may not seem that important, but it's all about organization. You're also, you can use whatever font you want, but I personally use Courier font because it's just spaced out, easy to read, very, I guess you could say monotone, kind of. It just makes reading your script a lot easier to read. Then you're going to want to write down second the voice actors who could be voicing in your brick film. Now, if it's just you, for example, I would just write BBBF. There you go. And you don't have to be, now, actual big film movie scripts could be much different, but when it comes to you just making a YouTube video stop motion, you don't have to always start out perfect sentence, grammatically correct. It's sort of about that simplifying thing. So I always start up with scene opens up with. Now, we could make this a Star Wars brick film. Let's say we're making an episode of something about stormtroopers, so you could make a stop motion about the Empire, something like that. Scene opens up with an Imperial shuttle landing atop. I was gonna say atop, but you don't have to use fancy word combos like that. You could just say on top of a landing platform. Just like that, you've already gotten your first shot in the frame. I had to move my little recording icon over so I could hit the period button. You've already gotten your first shot, basically, for the brick film in just that one simple sentence. Now you're going to want to add what comes next. I'm going to get this out of my way. The blast door hisses open, just to sort of give you that extra what is going to be happening. If you say the blast door opens, then it doesn't really, okay, I just open it in this scene. But if the blast door hisses open, maybe it'll remind you to add some extra pizzazz when filming it. I don't know. Just simple extra words, not sort of contradicting what I said earlier about simplification, but a little bit extra words can always remind you, hey, I can make this scene look better by adding this, because that reminds you, like, adding that extra pizzazz. I don't know. And reveals Darth Vader. So now you can visualize the scene, you know, an Imperial shuttle flying over snowy terrain and slowly landing as some guards come to greet the ship, and as the door hisses open, they see him. They see Darth Vader standing above them. And, you know, very menacing situation. Now, I'm not going to go about continuing to write the rest of the script, the entire script for a big movie, because next thing you know, someone's going to steal my idea. I'm just kidding. But, next thing you know, you're going to want to add some dialogue, so you're going to want to put who's talking. In this case, guard 1, because there's going to be several guards. If Darth Vader's there, going to be several guards there. Guard 1. Greetings, Lord Vader. Oh, greeting. And you're going to want to go back and correct any typos. Greetings, Lord Vader. You're going to want to skip lines too, and depending on who's voicing that, say someone's voicing it who isn't you, you can take that and actually highlight over it yellow. And now it's highlighted in yellow. Vader walks down the steps of the ship and glances at the guard before walking off. Now, if you noticed, it just highlighted everything there. If you want to just get rid of that, you just have to press hold and then drag and press no highlight color. Google Docs has got this weird thing to where it doesn't get it, that whenever you skip a line, it doesn't want you highlighting anything anymore. It just gets kind of frustrating, but other than that, it's really simple to use. Now, I'm not gonna, this is like a basic understanding of how you can set up your scripts. You can also, let's say this is the end of the first scene, I can go no. Okay, I need to find the oh, there it is. It was there for a moment. Style. And you can go with heading. And then on the heading, you can say Scene 2. And title the scene, like Scene 2, a duel. Simple as that. You don't have to make it fancy because you're the only one reading the script. That's a basic understanding of how you can write scripts. There's not really anything more I can go into detail with. And I don't really need to continue writing the rest of the script, because script writing is basically what I just showed you. If you're a big movie writer for a big movie corporation, it's probably going to be a lot more complicated than that. But when it comes to just making stop motions on YouTube for the time being, this is a basic start to how you can write all of your scripts. It's just those basic steps until you finish off your script. And writing scripts, I'm going to tell you guys right now, writing scripts will help you so much with understanding what to film, because when you don't have a script, when you don't have something to go by to remember what to film, you're gonna end up forgetting all the great ideas you come up with for a film. When you've written them down, you know you're not going to forget it, and if you follow that, then your movie's gonna seem a lot more organized and a lot more on track than it would be if you don't have a script. So that is my advice to you guys. Anyways, guys, that was my little insight into script writing. I know a lot of things I said may not be completely accurate for those who are going into much higher levels of script writing, maybe for very major jobs, but it's definitely a good way to get started with really organizing your films and getting into a rhythm rather than just coming up with ideas off the top of your head, because that can make your films start to be randomized, and you really want to have that organization whenever you're filming. So hopefully you guys learned something from the video. Let me know if you guys do things a different way with your scripts. I'd like to see that in the comments. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.